Auburn Blitz is now on the air, your daily look into what's happening in Auburn athletics. With your host, Andy Graham, Brett Pritchard, Randy Lee, War Eagle.
Hello again, everyone, and good Tuesday afternoon. Welcome into another edition of the Auburn Blitz. I am Andy Graham alongside Randy Lee. We'll be with you for the next hour, taking your comments, taking your phone calls, talking about everything going on in the world of Auburn athletics. Still talking about the Auburn-Ole Miss game. We'll get Randy's thoughts on that. A lot has been made, a lot of talk in the last couple of weeks about the roster of this Auburn football team. There's a lot of you had Jim Donnan, former Georgia coach, at the beginning of the year comparing Auburn's roster to Vanderbilt. I think that's kind of ludicrous, and the numbers say that it is. But the way Auburn's playing right now, it's hard to he looks, a little bit looks like he's more correct maybe than we first believed. But nonetheless, we'll dive into the numbers a little bit. We'll kind of break down where Auburn is, where they are kind of trending right now as far as the roster is concerned. Are we getting our money's worth? Some other coaches working with a lot less talent, getting a lot more out of it. So how much of it is coaching? How much of it is the players, the talent? I remember we did an old show many years ago, and we were around, I think, 2011, 2000. No, it was probably around 2000. It may have been around 2012. And we were trying to figure out, is it the coaches or is it the players? And I finally said it's the players. But we nonetheless, we'll look at that a little bit. Love to get your thoughts on that, your comments on that. Give us a call, 256-234-6221, or you can dial us up on the Sportz Blitz Facebook page. That's Sports with a Z. And comment away. We appreciate you each and every day, and you're part of the program. It's an important piece. Randy, good to see you. Hope you had a good weekend. Auburn 34, Ole Miss 48. I know you watched the game. I know you have some idea. What did you think?
Well, first off, we were down 21-0, and I think you and I were on the same text thread, and I was wondering if we were going to let him back on the plane to come back to Alabama. And looked like we had quit, weren't playing, couldn't stop them for anything.
Right.
Next thing you know, we find some offense, start yelling at each other on the sideline, which it feels like at least amped us up a little bit. Not that you want to see that, but we did start at least showing a little emotion over there on the sideline, and figured out a way to run the football. Still can't throw it. Still have no clue why in the world Ole Miss, outside of they felt like they had this thing won and weren't really worried, but why in the world they wouldn't have put 8 men in the box. If they put 8 in the box, I'm not sure we would have moved it very much. But Tank Bigsby was, if not the best player on the field, one of the top 2 or 3 best players on the field. We expected that all season long, but we can't seem to put it all together at the same time. When we're able to run the football for over 300 yards, can't stop anybody. Give up. How close is it to a school record?
We've given up 740 rushing yards in the last 2 games.
Is that a school record?
It's got to be, I would think. I mean, there may be some days back in the wishbone days when we may have given, when it was teams rush for an average of 300 yards, but I don't know. In my mind, maybe you go back 2012, we gave up maybe a couple, but 740 rushing yards in 2 games, that's beyond me.
And that's a good Ole Miss team, but this is not a record-breaking.
That's Georgia and Ole Miss. That's 2 undefeated teams we played. Yes. They were 2 good teams. 740 yards? No.
Well, 448 on Saturday. They didn't throw the ball much, and they didn't need to. They had 88 offensive plays to our 65. Like I said, we just can't seem to put it all together at the same time. Our offense was good enough to win the football game on Saturday. Our rushing game was definitely good enough. Many could point to their setup defensively for our reasons, from going from 80-something rushing yards the week before to over 300 last week. I don't know your thoughts, Andy. I'm at this point, I'm not totally apathetic about it, but I expect it. And once you get to the point of expecting a loss and expecting poor play, it's tough to have a really emotional take on anything.
Well, as I was reminded by a couple of people this weekend, y'all were real high on that defensive line coming into the season.
Yes, we
and
were.
I was. I thought that could be the strength of this Auburn defense. And what has happened? Did we miss the mark that bad? I mean, what has – it doesn't seem like, at the beginning of the year, I thought we were playing pretty well. The defense was keeping us in games, it seemed like. But I don't know if we've worn down. We did have some, we got banged up, and we weren't able to play our top front line, for most of the game. We had to really mix and match, and I guess I maybe overestimated Marquise Burks and, Joseph, the transfer from Memphis, although he didn't play bad. Neither of those guys played bad, but maybe I overestimated the linebacker play because we were all enamored with Cam Riley after the first game, and I really hadn't seen much of him at all after that. So, Owen Papo had a lot of tackles, but they were downfield a lot of times. So, I really don't know how to explain it. I think Kobe Wooden is a good player. I think Marcus Harris is a good player.
Derek Hall's a good player.
Derek Hall's a really good player. I think Iku Leota, that was a big loss. Marcus Bragg has played pretty well as a fill-in, but we have gotten nothing out of Dylan Brooks.
I think we're down to, 5 defensive linemen that are rotating in and out?
Thereabouts. I mean, we may have 6.
You may have 6. You may have one more, but I mean that are really giving you any production at all.
Yeah.
And that's a problem. When
That's a big
when a
problem.
team wants to go out there and run the football, how many times they run it? They had 88 plays on Saturday. Passing the football, they only had 130 of those were passing yards. But I'm guessing.
How many times did Ole Miss run it?
Yes.
69 times.
69 times. I knew it was a big number. I couldn't quickly glance down and find that number, but 69 times. I mean, those guys, well, first off, they can't get off the field. There's a reason for them having the ability to run that much. But I don't have a good answer for it, Andy. We will go to the phone lines and see if anyone that's on the phone can have an answer for this Auburn football team. Caller, you're on the Auburn Blitz.
Am I on the Blitz?
You are, Danny. Glad to have you.
Thank you. And man, I want to say, I got a comment out that I want to say.
Yeah, we're listening to you, Danny. You're on air.
Okay. Why is it that we're still not putting the blame where it should be, which is some of this blame should be solely on Malzahn, who left us completely dry when it comes to talent over there? I believe if Harsin has some things to do with it also, but he's trying to build a program when you're trying to build something that he's basically dry.
Okay. I think we have given Malzahn a lot of that grief. But, however, I will say that we like, okay, so that you bring up, say that the program is dry. You mean there's just a lot less talent than what we are facing. But
it's a lot less talent than what we thought we had.
Well, why is that? I mean, by the numbers, if you look on, then we're recruiting like the 6th best team in the SEC. But what are we not getting it out of the players when we get them on campus? I mean, what is the disconnect?
We're missing strength and conditioning, and those guys that we got right now don't look like linemen. They look like tweeners. I mean, they're in between. Because we used to have big-time 6'3", 6'4", 300-pounders What happened to that? We're Auburn. We should always be able to get the best talent out there.
I think that, you say something that I agree with, and especially when you point out the inefficiencies of the offensive line. And Gus Malzahn did start that. He did not recruit that position well at all.
Right.
Brian Harsin has not recruited that position very well at all.
I totally agree with that. And Brian is someone who is – I don't think he's going to be a good recruiter in the South. I would like to give him his opportunity to try to build one. I just don't think he has the thump. And we lost a lot to the portal. We can't forget that.
We did, and I agree with you. I think that the further down the road that we get, the more that I agree with you on Harsin. I would give him the benefit of the doubt right now. We could be 3-4 if we were ranked about 6th or 7th in recruiting, and we got some of those linemen that we need, and I felt like he was making some inroads here in the state of Alabama where we've got some strong recruits that we could possibly go after, but I don't get a good sense that we're any closer than we were last year, and that's my biggest knock on Brian Harsin.
I really don't think we have took a step forward either, but who's out there that we could, draw into Auburn and then in 2 years be up and running? It's not very many.
No, that's the issue. There's not many that you would say can make a quick splash when you're as behind as we are right now. I mean, I've got some names.
We are behind.
We definitely are.
Behind.
There's some names out there that, that I would like to see more than others, and I've been pretty vocal about that, but the powers that be at Auburn at times don't give me a good warm fuzzy that they're going to make that decision, so we'll just have to wait and see.
I think we should go after Stoops. And I think, with the right kind of money, I think he'd come to Auburn.
Andy, I think's got a segment coming up that's right around what you're talking about.
We got to go to break. Danny, thank you for the call.
Thank you, Danny. We appreciate you.
All right.
Yep, and he brings up something I know looking down at these numbers you're about to talk about.
Definitely don't go anywhere. We'll be back with more of the Auburn Blitz right after this.
Hi, this is Brian Bice with Bice Motors. With our all-star lineup of Dodge trucks, Jeep, SUVs, and Chrysler cars, we offer the area a team dedicated to making your next vehicle purchase a positive experience. Our sales team offers competitive pricing, and we back up all sales with a service department second to none. Bice Motors also offers the area's best selection of pre-owned vehicles. Visit Bice Motors at 2133 Cherokee Road in Alexander City.
Guaranteed lowest price. Buy it at Bice Motors.
Concrete Basement and Walls, LLC, 205-229-0234. Call owner Eric McKenzie now to get your free quote now. 205-229-0234. Concrete Basement and Walls, LLC.
WOTM is the television provider for all Alabama High School Athletic Association championship events and special programs. WOTM is your home for the Super 7 football, state finals basketball, baseball and softball state championships, the AHSAA weekly show, and WOTM also produced the first ever football playoff show, Super 7 preview show, and reclassification reveal show. Your exclusive home for all things AHSAA is WOTM. Contact your local cable provider to request WOTM to your channel lineup.
Finding a job might be tough, but starting your new career has never been easier. Wellborn Cabinet in Ashland has a wide array of career opportunities with benefits. General labor production, skilled cabinet builders, product assembly line, shipping, over-the-road truck drivers, clerical, marketing, security, daycare, office clerks, and so much more. Apply in person, 38669 Highway 77 South in Ashland, or online at wellborn.com. Building cabinets, building careers, and building our community.
Whether it's Lake Martin, Lay Lake, or Logan Martin, boaters from all over the state of Alabama come to Alex City Marine, just off Highway 280 in Alexander City, Alabama, because it's worth the drive. With the best deals on unbeatable Suzuki outboards, Manitou and Landau tri-tunes, and a great pre-owned inventory while they last. Alex City Marine is the pros the locals know. And no matter where you're from, when you're here, you're local to us. Alex City Marine, just off Highway 280 in Alexander City, Alabama. AlexCityMarine.com.
Heritage South Credit Union in Alexander City is your community credit union, and they have been for over 80 years. Heritage South Credit Union proudly serves Tallapoosa, Coosa, Lee, Chambers, Randolph, and Chilton counties. From checking to business accounts, to share savings to club accounts, to their kids club and investments. Visit them online at myhscu.com. Heritage South Credit Union, your community credit union for 80 years. Federally insured by NCUA.
Hey, it's Brett Pritchard, and I'm here to tell you all about Sims Foods, who you know better as Wickles Pickles. Wickles Pickles, that 90-year-old recipe, wickedly delicious. Relish, okra, and pickles. From Saturday sandwiches, tailgate snacks, to holiday dinners with your family and friends. From their family to yours, Wickles Pickles, those wickedly delicious pickles.
Wickles Pickles, wickedly delicious pickles.
Concrete Basement and Walls, LLC, 205-229-0234. Call owner Eric McKenzie now to get your free quote now. 205-229-0234. Concrete Basement and Walls, LLC.
No monthly payments till after the holidays. At Glenn Smith in Opelika.
Enjoy big discounts on Chevrolet Buick and GMC SUVs. How about a brand new Chevrolet Buick or GMC with no payments till next year? New Chevy Equinox as low as $329 a month. New Buick Enclaves up to $5,000 off. New GMC Terrains up to $6,000 off.
Get 0% financing, no payments till next year at Glenn Smith in Opelika. Get ready to smile.
Welcome back, everyone, to the Auburn Blitz. Andy and Randy here with you, just getting started on today's show. Thank you so much for all of you out there being with us. We're brought to you each and every day by Big Fish Real Estate. Give them a call today, 551-BIG-FISH, or look them up, bigfishlakemartin.com. Danny brings up a great point, about the talent. When you look at the numbers, Auburn is, in the upper echelon of the SEC. They're not playing like they are right now. Now, I think I've been thinking about this for a while, and we've been talking about this, but just to kind of put it in perspective, when we'll go to the phone line, you can have the numbers. When you look on the page, you can kind of get lost in them, and you can start equating teams. Well, we've got this many, and they've got that many, so we ought to be kind of same. It doesn't work like that. It's so much more complicated than that. And the reason we keep talking about it, we've talked about it so often, but it's the offensive line. If you recruit in the offensive line and the defensive line, if those are your 4- and 5-star guys, then you can have 3-star, running backs and wide receivers, and you can look a lot better, and you can be a lot more successful. If you're 2 and 3 stars on the offensive line and you got a 5-star running back, if he's getting hit in the backfield, he don't look like a 5-star running back. If you got a 5-star wide receiver, if you can't throw him the ball, he don't look like a 5-star wide receiver. So it's a matter of where those 4- and 5-star guys are, and that is Auburn's biggest problem to me at this moment. Let's go to the phone line.
I think Terry's going to agree with you. Terry, you're on the Auburn Blitz.
How you doing, guys?
Good, Terry. Glad to have you.
Andy, that's the same old argument there. What if Barry Sanders could have ran behind the Dallas Cowboys offensive line?
He just had 2,000 yards rushing every year.
He made 2,000 yards look normal.
He definitely would have, yes.
I'd like to comment on that last caller's question. I think I can answer that. Yeah, you had Gus Malzahn, who didn't put the emphasis on recruiting like he should have. He was an offensive-minded coach. He kind of focused on the skill positions on offense, not on the line of scrimmage. And Brian Harsin just don't care. And you follow that with a West Coast wingnut who just doesn't care. And people are not saying that. They're saying, Terry, you're being too hard on this guy, and I'm not. He just doesn't care.
Terry, the further we get down the line, it's not that I necessarily think that he doesn't care. I just don't know that he can put all the pieces together.
Oh, no, Rick.
Yeah,
I know he doesn't care. I know he doesn't care.
I'm kind of agreeing.
It should be obvious.
At a certain point, I'm going, he's conceded that this class is not going to be very good.
Right.
Yeah, and I'm kind of with you on that.
And he's not going out, and he's not sending his coaches out. And why are we on Tuesday, October the 19th, talking about him still the coach at Auburn?
Well, that's a good question. You have an answer.
I mean, that should be the question everybody should be asking right now.
No AD yet, no permanent AD yet, and
Andy, come on, when did that really matter? You know, the coach doesn't answer to the AD. I mean, I know that's a chain of command, but nobody really believes. I know. Do you really think Nick Saban answers to Byrne at Alabama, or you think Byrne answers to Nick Saban?
Well, Nick Saban's kind of his own little entity over there.
Yeah, that's my hope. I'm sorry to interrupt you there, but I don't mean to step on you there.
No, I appreciate it.
I've just never bought into that.
Well, you asked why he's not. I'm telling you, these are part of the reasons I think, and the fact that I think they're just going to they're going to give him to the end of the year. They're not. I think Chris Roberts is. Believe it or not, the president does make the decisions, and apparently, from what I've heard, Chris Roberts is the kind of guy that says, "I'm going to wait and evaluate the entire season as a whole."
So if they're going to wait to the end of the year, they're just conceding the class, the recruiting class next year also, right?
It would appear so.
Okay, well, that really needs no further comment from me or y'all or anybody else, because that shows enormous waving the white flag the size of the Pacific Ocean. And the season doesn't matter, and our future doesn't matter. Only we get a new coach here, we'll focus on that. So, you know, if we go 4-8 this year and 5-7 next year, they don't care. And oh, by the way, when the rear ends start coming to the game and start putting their rear ends in the seats, that's when they'll care the most, and that will happen. And then I don't know about you guys, but I'm real curious to see how the fans react in the Arkansas game next Saturday with the week off, you know, with Harsin and that group, because that's also a reunion of the 1972 Amazings. Did you guys know that?
Did not know that.
50 years.
They're having the 72 reunion, the 50-year reunion, right? I'm fortunate to have a very good friend who played on that team, and he called over. They wanted to come by and see me while I was down here. Now that I'm in the area, so but that's some showing of the Amazings, right? So you're bringing the Amazing. It's amazing that Brian Harson's still the head coach at Auburn. Take care, guys.
Thank you, Terry. We appreciate the phone call. A lot of people agree with Terry.
Got another one.
I'd say more agree with Terry than don't.
Would
you agree with that?
I would think that's probably accurate.
Yes.
Yeah.
Caller, you're on the Auburn Blitz.
Hey, guys, it's Luke. How's it going?
Good, Luke. Glad to have you, buddy.
One thing, look, I don't want to come off as a Malzahn defender at all, but when the previous caller before Terry said that, you know, this is Malzahn leaving Harsin in a lurch, I think at this point, the new age of college football is you're not going to have time to come in and bring, quote-unquote, your guys, not with the transfer portal. I mean, you look at Ole Miss, for example. I mean, I know they're in year 3, but they've got a transfer quarterback. They've got a transfer running back that's kicking butt. They've got several other transfers from Auburn that are doing at least moderately well for them. Tennessee's got a transfer quarterback that's doing well and some transfer offensive linemen. I mean, the new age is you've got to go get guys immediately. It used to be if you hire a coach, you give him 3 or 4 years to get his players in there and see how they develop. Nobody's going to wait on that anymore. So I don't think that's necessarily a good excuse anymore, even though it used to be one. And I think the other thing that Andy hit on, which, you know, I've always said, look, Auburn does finish historically anywhere from 5th to 7th in the SEC in recruiting, which is usually good for somewhere between number 10 and number 15 in the country. The problem is they traditionally play teams that finish number 1, number 2, you know, number 4, number 6 in recruiting, and they have to play them every year in LSU, Texas A&M, Bama, and Georgia. And then if you throw in the occasional Tennessee and Florida who recruits on par with Auburn, and you assume that you play at least one of them on the road, you know, all of a sudden, you know, Auburn's road is much more difficult than, say, the average team who finishes 6th or 5th in their conference in recruiting. So I think that's you know, that's just something people should remember, because I know it's always pointed out, hey, we finish higher in recruiting than some of these other teams, say in the Pac-12 or Big 12 or whatever, but they don't have the same arduous path that Auburn has every single year. And finally, look, I know that it's bad for us as fans, but in terms of shows, I know that Sportz Blitz Live, that'll be on tonight, and Auburn Blitz and the other podcast I do, Locked on Bama, we've never had so many hits as we do when Auburn and Alabama lose. So I guess this is at least good for business, right?
It is good for business. We've always said that, Luke. We appreciate the call, buddy. Hey, Luke, and one thing I'll add to Luke, I think I heard this before the Auburn and Ole Miss game on Saturday. Ole Miss last year had 18 4- to 5-stars on the roster. This year, due to the transfer portal, because I don't think they recruited at any great level last year, but they had 33 on the roster this year. Now, Auburn's got a lot more than that, a good bit more than that. But my point is that Lane Kiffin, by using the transfer portal, has really helped.
Yeah.
In that. Not just
those
the
numbers, I'm sure, the numbers that we're going to talk about a little bit, these are composite numbers. So the numbers are going to be a little bit different. You can say a guy, a lot of people say, well, he was a 4-star, and they'll pick whichever service gives him a 4-star.
Yeah.
But he may be a 3-star in a composite, but it's splitting hairs. But, I just want to make that point. We got to take a break. Don't go anywhere. We'll come back with more right after this.
Growing your business isn't just one thing. It's a million little things. Should you lease, rent, or own? How fast can you get that part? Does it fit the budget? That's what your local cat dealer is here for. With expert advice, flexible financing, and industry-leading equipment, you can get the job done, day after day. Visit ThompsonCat.com, your compact equipment provider.
The Eric McKinley team at Mortgage Pro in Alexander City is the perfect lender for all your mortgage needs. Property values have increased and interest rates have never been so low. So if you haven't looked at refinancing your house in the last 6 to 12 months, Mortgage Pro is here to help you take advantage of that. Our team is closing loans in 15 days or less, so give us a call at 256-397-0248 and let our team go to work for you today.
Frontline Outfitters provides all your aftermarket parts for your cars, trucks, and as well as your professional tinting solutions for auto, residential, and commercial buildings. Frontline Outfitters also handles vinyl wraps, spray-in bed liners, truck accessories, LED lighting, paint correction and detailing, and much more. Make sure Frontline Outfitters of Alexander City is your first call for tinting and aftermarket solutions. Call us today, 256-409-8100.
The interstate is backed up this morning due to an accident.
So you don't like sitting still on the interstate? Get the free Algo traffic app. With Algo, you'll have the information you need to avoid problems on your route, to work, to home, to the beach. Traffic backups, wrecks, lane closures, all with current info and live traffic camera feeds. Know before you go with Algo Traffic, ALGO Traffic from the Alabama Department of Transportation. Get it today and arrive on time.
Lake Martin Garage, located on Highway 280 in Jackson's Gap, has been serving our area since 1993. From routine maintenance such as oil changes, tune-ups, and rotating and balancing your tires, to transmission and engine repair, our trained and certified mechanics will get you back on the road better than before. Need a tow? With a 24-hour, 7-day-a-week towing service, Lake Martin Garage has local and long-range pickup. Trust your vehicle needs to the professionals at Lake Martin Garage. Call 256-825-6139, or better yet, stop in and see them today. Lake Martin Garage.
Russell Building Supply and Home Center is just around the corner in a brand new convenient location with a wide selection of grills, hardware, tools, paint, lawn and garden, and much more. The new store offers more home improvement items along with other helpful conveniences like a drive-through lumberyard and our Best Rewards program, making it an ideal destination for do-it-yourselfers and professional contractors. Get ready for game day on the plains by stocking up on all your Auburn tailgating gear at Russell Building Supply and Home Center.
EnviroCare is the standard in East Central Alabama for all your pest control and termite needs. EnviroCare exclusively offers Centricon termite colony elimination system that is the industry's most effective termite control to protect your home year-round. The EnviroCare team's service is also the standard for our customers. From eliminating home pests to superior termite control, nobody cares like EnviroCare, serving Lake Martin and East Central Alabama.
For more than 40 years,
Ingram Equipment Company has helped companies, towns, and cities with their dirtiest, most challenging jobs by providing the very best equipment and by helping them keep in tip-top working condition. IEC represents leading manufacturers such as Heil garbage truck bodies, Timco sweepers, Step pothole patchers, and many more. We proudly support all athletes and teams that compete across the state and wish them good luck this year. Ingram Equipment Company, ingramequipment.net.
Welcome back, everyone, to the Auburn Blitz. Andy and Randy here with you. About 30 more minutes left in today's show. Thank you so much for all of you out there being with us. Brought to you each and every day by Mortgage Pro, the Eric McKinley team, saving people thousands of dollars each and every year on their home mortgage. Give them a call today, 256-397-0248. Mortgage Pro, the Eric McKinley team. A lot of good comments, a lot of good phone calls. Appreciate all of those. Some good comments coming rolling through. We're talking about the roster at Auburn right now. But that Brett says that quick snapshot of TJ summed up his entire career on the sideline. He comes in, he fumbles. Can we please not see him on the sideline? Can we please not see him on the field again? Eugene Asante, missing man. Jim says put a collective together to offer NIL to every high school ranking out offensive lineman out there. Texas, $50,000 per offensive line. We could offer that. I mean, we've got to do something. John says, I just want to see a coach come in and do his job and take the football program to the next level. We have not been to the playoffs at all. It's looking bad for the program. Ed says, okay, Terry, this is for you. If a university fires a coach mid-season, players have a 30-day option to enter the transfer portal immediately. And so that's the only reason I can come up with for them not firing him. I was told that was a rule. This is coming from Ed Hines. I realize who wants them, but it could have a big impact. And Jamie says it's just sad. It's just a sad outlook for Auburn football altogether. War Eagle.
Well, I think Tennessee kind of went through a bit of this, when they had their turmoil going on with coaching staffs and who their coach is going to be, and Jeremy Pruitt getting in all kinds of trouble, that they had a lot of players leave the program. At one point, was it somewhere around 30?
Something like that.
It was a crazy high number. And, I know that you can't expect in the West to probably make as quick of a change as we have seen in the East with Tennessee, but I think that you watch Tennessee and there's hope for Auburn. Now, I don't want to get too much comparing Auburn and Tennessee together because that's about as bad a comparison as you would ever want in college football. Where that program's gone from the 90s till today is like the poster child of where you don't want to see your program get. Because you and I have a hard time explaining to a 20-year-old what Tennessee football was. Because a 20-year-old just has no idea other than Tennessee gets beat by Alabama every year. They've never really played for anything. If they played in the SEC championship game, it was so long ago I was a baby. But for you and I, when we were 20, Tennessee was always in the thick of things. Always had one of the best teams. So you don't want to get there. I know I'm kind of going off on a rant here, but my point is they've got a guy that is changing the whole dynamic of that program, and he's that quarterback. And yes, the coaches are putting him in a good position to show off his talent, but you get the right quarterback and you're not terrible on the offensive front, which is exactly what we are right now, you can go from 2009 Auburn to 2010.
Perfect example. Auburn in 2022, the roster as we see right now, 34 4-stars, 1 5-star. That would be Owen Papo. Tennessee, 24 4-stars, 2 5-stars on the roster right now. 24 4-stars. Auburn's got 10 more 4-star players than Tennessee. Tennessee's undefeated and number 3 in the country and looking like, a formidable team. Auburn's 3 and 4 and headed for an oblivion. Let's go. We got a phone call. We got
a couple of them. We'll try to get both of them. Caller, you on the Auburn Blitz. Terry, I think we got you back on. Lost that phone call. Try to go back to this call. Caller, you on the Auburn Blitz.
Hey, guys, this is Terry. I was calling you back. And that's a great point that Ed made. I don't know if it's true or not, but, guys, would y'all research something for me?
Yes.
Isn't every team that's fired their coach, Arizona State, Colorado State, et cetera, hadn't they won the following week they fired their coach? If y'all could research that, I'd appreciate it.
I know Nebraska won. I know Colorado
Thank you, Terry. We
won.
appreciate
I know Arizona State won. Yeah, I think all of them have. That's kind of bizarre to me. But, yeah, that is actually, I think, accurate. I don't know if they won. Nebraska didn't win this last week, but,
Well, and the point that I made with you is anyone that is committing to Auburn right now, this late in the process with all the turmoil around the coaching, they are actually committing to Auburn.
Yeah.
I believe that. And I think that the recruiting coordinators and the assistant coaches are out there trying to do what they can. So my point to you was I didn't see where you could lose anything. And we can go back down that old dirty path that you and I went down a couple of weeks ago. But I really feel that the only thing that you possibly could have is one of those assistant coaches or an ex-Auburn guy or an older Auburn guy that can come in there and put a little oomph behind the recruiting process could only help at this point.
Up against another break here. Don't go anywhere. We'll be back with more of the Auburn Blitz right after this.
76% of nurses say they went into the profession because they wanted to help patients. No matter the reason you decided to become a nurse, you have all the tools needed to advance your degree at Jacksonville State University. Our Master's in Nursing program is now offered fully online and can be completed in less than 2 years. You can customize a flexible course schedule so you can receive your advanced education degree all while working on the front line. JSU Nursing, your opportunity to advance your career and serve your community.
Tails are wagging and pets are bragging about Zoom to Groom. Columbus, Phoenix City, and Smith Station. Zoom to Groom comes to you. It's mobile pet grooming from the comfort of your driveway. Schedule your appointment now online at zoomtogroom.net or by phone at 334-740-9909.
At CNT Electric, our clients are our priority. For the safety and security of your family and home, our technicians are professionally trained, drug tested, background checked, and wear uniforms with name tags. We're proud to have served the Elk City, Dadeville, and Lake Martin areas for the past 10 years. Give us a call at 256-234-0007 for all your electrical service and repair needs, or visit us on the web at www.cntelectricllc.com and spell out the word "and."
Something big is coming. Something so big, it'll change the world of chicken sandwiches. Zaxby's new signature sandwich with Zax sauce or new spicy Zax sauce, because the chicken sandwich war ain't over yet. The new signature sandwich. All the other little sandwiches can run along. We'll take it from here.
Country Clipper zero-turn mowers are designed for comfort, accessibility, and ease of use. Only Country Clipper offers your choice of steering options with industry-exclusive joystick steering or twin lever steering. Their patented stand-up deck, standard on every model, allows for quick access to the underside of the deck for routine maintenance. With a wide front step and optional handrail, getting on or off your mower has never been easier. Stop by Fun Carts of Opelika today for a test drive. Country Clipper mowers, designed for you. Fun Carts of Opelika, located at 618 Lee Road 113 in Opelika, Alabama.
Hey, this is Doug Roberts, long-term resident of Alexander City. I sold my house with Century 21 Lake Area Realty because all my life I had heard that to sell a house you need 3 things: location, location, location. I found out there's actually 4. You need location, 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 and Rhonda Gaskins at Century 21 Lake Area Realty to sell your house fast.
Call me today and let me go to work for you. 256-749-3644.
2 nights, 1 weekend at ATL Live. Friday, November 11th, his first concert ever at Mercedes-Benz Stadium, Billy Joel. With Lionel Richie and Sheryl Crow. And Saturday, November 12th, 8-time Grammy winner Chris Stapleton with Miranda Lambert, Dwight Yoakam, and more. Tickets on sale now at Ticketmaster.com. Don't miss ATL Live, powered by Ticketmaster.
Tails are wagging and pets are bragging about Zoom to Groom. Columbus, Phoenix City, and Smith Station. Zoom to Groom comes to you. It's mobile pet grooming from the comfort of your driveway. Schedule your appointment now online at zoomtogrooom.net or by phone at 334-740-9909.
Brubaker Motors in Montgomery is the largest and fastest growing used car dealership in the River Region. You can absolutely get a better buy at Brubaker. It's better at Brubaker.com.
Brubaker, 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 Brubaker.
You can absolutely get a better buy at Brubaker.
BREWBAKER. BREWBAKER.com.
It's better at Brubaker.com.
Welcome back, everyone, to the Auburn Blitz. Andy and Randy here with you. Only a couple more segments left in today's show. Go ahead and get your phone call in or give us a comment, 256-234-6221. Brought to you each and every day by Russell Do-It Center. They got 10 locations around Central Alabama for all your building supply, home decor, tools, whatever it might be. Go and check out Russell Do-It Center today. Thank you so much for all of your comments, and it's a very interesting conversation. Look, here's kind of the bottom line of what we were talking about. And going back to the first caller, Danny said he wanted to go out and hire Mark Stoops. I'm assuming he was talking about Mark. Okay, Kentucky has not had – we're not talking about a class. I'm talking about a roster, okay? The 12th ranked roster as far as talent is concerned in 2018, 12th in 2019, 11th in 2020, 12th in 2021, and 11th in 2022. 10-3, 8-5, 5-6, 10-3. They're 5-2 this year. Are they getting their money's worth?
Yes.
I mean, you know, he's taking significantly less talent, not a little less, significantly less talent at Kentucky, and has 2 10-win seasons, an 8-5, and he's 5-2 this year. They'll end up with a winning season this year too, I would imagine. Arkansas, you know, 11th, 10th, 10th. 2-10 in 18, 2-10. You would expect when Sam Pittman took over, 3-7, but it was you could see they were getting better. They went 9-4, and they're 4-3 this year. I don't know what they'll end up this year, but they've taken significantly less talent in the West and is getting a little bit better. Auburn's taking a lot more talent and getting worse. Something's going on. I mean, where does the blame lie? You know, you can blame the players all you want, but at some point, the head man's got to be in charge.
I think part of it revolves around what Luke said. With this schedule that Auburn plays and our key rivals are different than those. Now, Arkansas is in the West, so they can't run from a few of them, but I don't know that they've got to sit there and worry about Georgia every year.
Yeah, South Carolina is not Georgia.
No. But Auburn has to deal with the top 3 ranked recruiting teams every year, really the top 4.
Or Missouri, I should say.
We can't get away from that. And so whatever coach comes in has got to know that they've got to go head and head, not only playing them on the field, but you've got to try to, and you can always get them at Jordan-Hare and beat them. Like, Auburn has proven that against Alabama, where we have a decent team, but not a great team, but we get them at home and we can beat them. That's the difference that our home field advantage can bring from time to time. It's the only thing that I can gather from how in the world last year happens in the Iron Bowl. But for the most part, unless you want to storm the field every time you beat Alabama or Georgia, which is about where we are where we are in our program, we're at Tennessee. You know, we beat Alabama or Georgia, we're going to storm the field and pull the darn goalpost down and take it out and maybe run it over here to Lake Martin and throw it out in the lake somewhere. But I don't want to be that way. No. And the only way to not feel that way is to compete with them day in and day out in the recruiting. Whereas they don't have 5 times the amount of solid 4- and 5-star athletes as you do. So you've got to fix that. All the rest of it, yes. Do I think Stoops could make a big difference? Maybe. Do I think he can come in here and compete with Georgia, Alabama, and LSU on a year in and year out basis? Not really. I don't know that he has proven ever that he can recruit at that level.
Yeah, I think he's I think he's good enough to coach it.
Yes.
But I don't know if he could. I mean, he's not going to take the 12th best roster and beat the number 1 team.
No,
it's
not every
going to
week.
happen.
It's not just going to happen. You make it happen from time to time. Caller, you're on the Auburn Blitz.
Yeah, this is Danny calling back in. I heard a caller, I forgot his name. It sounded like he was making excuses for Auburn as far as we don't make excuses at Auburn. We either get it right or we get somebody in here who can get it right. I think he said something to the effect, well, we play Alabama, we know that going into the recruiting process.
I think that's where we've got to have the biggest change, Danny. I agree with you. I do think that our schedule is very tough compared to others, so it's hard to compare Kentucky and Arkansas.
We won on this schedule. We won with this schedule. So why are we making excuses now when we're not on top?
No, I agree with you. I think that up until the last 7, 8, 10 years, have we let the recruiting get away from as much as we have?
See, what we should do with the coaches, instead of we should make them earn that big payday. Because as soon as they earn the big payday, the recruiting stops. The recruiting falls off.
Well, and go ahead. Well, I was going to say, yes, we have played this schedule forever, and we added Florida to it years ago. However, I will say that the difference in the last 10 years is that Alabama and Georgia and LSU have raised their game, and Auburn is still kind of hovering where we always have. And if we want to continue to say, okay, we'll handle this schedule, Auburn has got to elevate its game.
Well, Carson he looks not interested right now, and I know why he's looking like that, because he's a dead man walking, basically. You know what I'm saying?
Agree. Yes.
No doubt.
And I think the emotion
he just don't seem to be tuned in.
Well, I think
we need a guy like I say, Bob Stoops out of Kentucky, maybe Lane Kiffin. Talk to Lane. Not a Hugh Freeze. We don't need a Hugh Freeze. I've been hearing that name, but coaches out there that'll come to Auburn. We're Auburn. Let's not ever forget that. We are.
What do you think about Deion?
No.
Nah.
No.
Why not?
He couldn't gel with the Auburn base. He couldn't. That's not what they're looking for. Recruiting and all that other stuff. Yeah, he's good with that part of it, but he is not what. No, not Auburn. No. Bad mistake.
All right, Danny, we got to go to a break. Thank you, brother.
Y'all be good, man.
Thank you, Danny.
Take it. We got to go, but don't go anywhere. We'll be back with one final segment of the Auburn Blitz right after this.
Folks around these parts have known for a long time that Walls Tire, just a mile past the bridge on Highway 280, is your #1 stop for automotive service and repair. At Walls Tire, you'll always find quality service at a fair price on everything from AC, name brand tires, big or small repairs, routine maintenance, towing, and more. When your car or truck needs to run right, there's one place in the area to go, conveniently located and easy to find. Walls Tire, just a mile past the bridge on Highway 280.
Don't be caught in a dirty vehicle. Lake Martin Mobile Detailing will have your vehicle or boat looking like brand new in no time, and you'll be back driving in style. They specialize in detailing, paint correction, gel coat restoration, and ceramic coating. Take it to the professionals at Lake Martin Mobile Detailing. Call them today at 256-794-2328 or stop by and see them at 702 McCarty Road in Dadeville. Mention this ad and receive $10 off. Lake Martin Mobile Detailing for your cleanest vehicles around.
Russell Do-It Center and building supply stores have the tools and materials to get the job done right, whether you're a professional contractor or just a weekend do-it-yourselfer. With everyday customer conveniences like a drive-through lumberyard, price match promise, and our Best Rewards program, each of our 9 locations offer top brands and building materials like lumber, hardware, tools, paint, lawn and garden, and much more. Visit today and see what Russell Do-It Center and Building Supply can help you build tomorrow.
Grain and Leaf, located at 6068 Highway 63 South, is Lake Martin's premier boutique-style bottle shop with a unique array of sophistication for everyone. Appropriately named for its exclusive selection of top spirits, wine, and craft beer, Grain and Leaf also has a number of fine cigars for you to choose from. They also carry the full line of Hornsby Farms assorted jellies and pottery. Open 10 to 7 Monday through Saturday and noon to 5 on Sundays, Grain and Leaf is your premier shop in the Lake Martin area.
The Eric McKinley team at Mortgage Pro in Alexander City is the perfect lender for all your mortgage needs. Property values have increased and interest rates have never been so low. So if you haven't looked at refinancing your house in the last 6 to 12 months, Mortgage Pro is here to help you take advantage of that. Our team is closing loans in 15 days or less, so give us a call at 256-397-0248 and let our team go to work for you today.
Need that boost to get you started in the morning or help get you through a long day at the office? Alex City Nutrition is your answer. Alex City Nutrition, located on 2nd Broad Street in downtown Alex City, offers meal replacement shakes, post-workout shakes, extreme rebuild products, and a vast array of loaded teas that offer focus, energy, and build up your immunity and overall health. Want to buy in bulk? We now offer your favorite flavors by the gallon. Come by Alex City Nutrition today or call 256-496-8284 to begin your journey to great health.
Hey guys, this is Nate Paz with Airport Motors.
I'm Connor Branch with Fairway Auto Brokers in Opelika, Alabama.
And this is your first ever Lake Martin Summer Car Blitz.
That's right, Lake Martin. Airport Motors and Fairway Auto Brokers is teaming up for the very first Lake Martin Summer Car Blitz. Make sure to check out either website for the very best selection of pre-owned luxury trucks, SUVs, and sedans in East Alabama. Get pre-approved in minutes online and make sure to use the keyword Summer Blitz in the comments section for $500 off internet price. That's keyword Summer Blitz.
Welcome back, everyone, to the Auburn Blitz final segment of the show today. Been a fun one so far. I always love the interaction, but in the world that we live in today, and in the way that the way that people look at the culture and break it down by race and everything, it's kind of a bizarre happening of. I don't even know how to look at it.
I was wondering if you thought the same. And so you and I really didn't talk about it during the break.
No.
So I didn't know where you were going with this, but I will say I thought the same. Let me tell you, I've been doing these programs for a very long time. I'm never shocked when I hear something I don't expect to hear. Well, I've been sitting up here touting Dion for how long now?
At least a month.
And then, when I'm not needing to talk about who I would like to see for the last few years, I've been saying a whole lot of good things about Dion.
Oh, yeah.
He's one of my favorite players ever. I think he's the best corner ever. I like what he's done when you watch, and I happen to like to coach secondary, and that's kind of my thing, and I enjoy that. So I watch a lot of what he teaches and how he talks and thoughts around, playing man coverage to zone coverages and all the things that go into that and how sharp he is when it comes to that. So I've always appreciated Dion. Here's a weird dynamic going on with Auburn fans, though. I've talked to about 10 of my good friends that are black men, and all of them think Dion's a terrible fit for Auburn. You see, and I have got so many of my closest friends, Jim Hardy being one of them, that is right there with me. Jim and I we're like pumped, like we're beating the drum as loud as anybody. Please give me a little bit of oomph behind this program and send Dion my way, and let's start recruiting and figure the coaching out. Whatever he needs, I got a lot of trust in him to with his connections in football to make that happen. I've been pounding it, but I'll talk to a black friend of mine. No, sir. Don't send him. It wouldn't be a good fit for Auburn. It's
not only did
thing.
Danny say no, he said no.
That's what we've been hearing, though.
James from Opelika, no. It really is bizarre, but it's just funny the way that it's going.
But I am going to keep going with this because I do think that it's the main topic of conversation in an off week. I so desperately feel like we need someone that can make a splash from an advertising, marketing, all that Bruce Pearl has brought to that basketball program on the football side. And yes, maybe you can go plug a Jeff Grimes in and he could be the next Sam Pittman. Mm-hmm. Okay, but is that going to take Auburn from their consistent 6th to 7th ranked SEC class up into that top 3? Which our the ones that I get sick of losing to, like we've beaten Georgia now 4 out of the last 18 times we played them. I'm sick of losing to Georgia. I don't want Georgia to beat us year in and year out in recruiting. I do not think their program's better than Auburn. It never was. Now we're supposed to buy in that they're a much better program from a much better athletic state with better high school football players and all the amenities that you would want and all the money you would want, and I'm supposed to buy that. I'm not buying that. And I hate Alabama with all my heart. And I'm sick of saying that we've got to buy into we can't compete with Alabama for a recruit year in and year out. But it's where we are.
And stop saying, well, they'll come back down eventually.
They may not.
Climb up. Be upward mobile.
I'd like to finish in the top 3 in recruiting. So I'd like to go hire someone that can finish in the top 3 in recruiting and has a plan in that regard. And we'll figure the rest of it out. My Lord, his son, do you know how much help his son would be at quarterback right now? Have you watched him play?
I have not.
He's a pro. He's a pro. Now, I know he's on a lower level, but that cat's a pro. You can watch him for a few seconds. Now, he's going to have to bring 3 or 4 linemen with him. But I got a lot of confidence that he could. Anybody watch his 60-minute interview?
I did.
What was brought up in the interview? What was the key thing you listened to or heard in that entire interview, Andy?
He markets the program. That
markets the program, but what did he say that caught your ear?
Well, I caught that he's old school.
No,
he's an old school coach. That actually would fit in with Auburn really well.
I'm not prodding you well, though. Here's my point. Here's what he said. If a bigger program comes courting.
Oh, yeah, well.
Would you? He said, yes.
Of course I would.
I would have to. I'd be crazy not to. And for him to say that on national television, look, there's one thing to think it, but to actually express it on national television, one of the largest watched national television, and you say, yeah, some bigger program comes after me, of course I'm going to have to. My gosh, can we please make something like that happen? Or are you going to make me buy into Hugh Freeze? Am I going to be forced to buy into Jeff Grimes?
I think Hugh Freeze is probably your second best option if you're going for a guy that can recruit and can coach. I think he's all the ones that I've heard. He may be the next.
I'm on.
But I don't disagree with you. Whatever you're saying about, I think he could be that kind of guy. I think he has the potential to be that kind of guy at Auburn. Would it work out? Would he clash with Auburn boosters? Probably. Is the potential there to be a disaster? No more than we've had the last 2 years.
Thank you. No, thank you. I appreciate it because it would be different if Auburn had gone out and every hire was a huge success. Every hire has a peak for Auburn the last 3 or 4 hires and a whole bunch of mediocrity. So, do we really think that he's going to be less mediocre than what we've had up to this point? Honestly? No, I think the ceiling's much higher than what we've had up to this point, and I think it only brings a little bit of luster around the program that is so needed right now. Please just give it. Once apathy sets in, I keep saying this every time because I'm apathetic to the whole deal, Andy. I'm like, I got to come up here and talk with Andy for an hour about a team that just gave up 450 yards rushing to Ole Miss. Dude, I really don't. Nothing good's about to come out of my mouth, and it probably didn't, so I apologize.
Happy birthday to the great Chuck Berry, Keith Jackson, oh, Nelly, George C. Scott, great actor.
Yes.
Mike Ditka, the original, the Bear himself, and Jean-Claude Van Damme.
That's a pretty odd gathering.
All born on this day. And Tommy Hearns and Martina Navratilova.
One of the best fights ever.
Oh, he and Marvin Hagler.
Yes, absolutely.
Yes,
they beat each other's brains.
He had some great ones with Sugar Ray Leonard, too.
Yes, he did.
Tommy the Hitman Hearns, man, he would knock your head off. We got to go. Thank you so much for being with us. He's Randy. I'm Andy. So long for now. We'll talk to you soon.